Welcome to Friday Night Funkin' Mod Review. I'm Hegemony, and today we'll be reviewing an offensive, cultural appropriation, racist, derogatory, and any other word you can use to describe 4chan invoking mod, vs. VTAN.
Okay, not exactly. It's just a mod based on a small music video / comic that came out back in the day based on 4chan, where B-Board gets pissed off at V-Board or VTAN as they usually do. They have a big fight and everything. The mod takes elements from that, and made by anonymous 4chan users themselves, they make a faithful move from video to mod, in which, they created versus VTAN.
And don't forget the usage of the hard R because 4chan. Disclaimer. Everything I said in this review is subjective and my opinion. You have no obligation to agree or disagree, and I encourage you to make your own opinions. These are simply my thoughts. If there's anything I missed or you want me to talk about, leave a comment. This review is going to be split into multiple parts. Art/animation, music, theme, charting, and overall, all rated from 0 to 5. This way, I can break down mods into parts and speak on them individually. Quick reminder that I am by no means an expert in any of these fields, but I'll do my best to speak upon them.
The art in the mod is really well polished, and matches the original MS Paint type style really well, redrawing boyfriend and girlfriend to match it too. It's bold, flashy, and nice on the eyes. Starting from the original comic, colours were always sparingly used as to make them stand out from what the rest of what was going on. In the mod, the dance pad arrows, the red eyes on VTAN himself, impact and power lines, and even BF and GF themselves are all coloured differently to stand out and be eye-catching to the viewer. It keeps them captivated and draws their attention from the black and white backgrounds. The animation itself is quite distinct. Whilst not being so fluid, it has a slight keyframe to keyframe type animation, reminiscent of old cartoons back in the mid to late 2000s. How their animations were always charmingly rough. It plays in with the art style and the mod as a whole. Going away from the main mod with VTAN and Cancelod, the secret / non-canon songs are really smooth too. Sneed's animations are fluid, with the head bopping, the flippin' who's singing, and the banjo playing from the farmers, to Homer's uncomfortable stature and hand movements. It's subtle and small, but with the lack of such large movements needed, it would then put focus onto the animations that are really needed to be put there to be polished and smooth. No Games is kinda different. It's mostly in Console Sword's big ass face, so smoothness isn't really needed. It's more snappy and quick, which just plays into the song itself being the same feeling of being snappy and quick.
If I'm being completely honest, I have no idea what to say about the art and animation other than it looks good. But we don't play about over here. I'm going to give the most hyper-detailed explanation on why this mod has superior levels of art and why the animation is outstanding in the Friday Night Funkin' scene. In 3, 2, 1. The art in the mod is really well polished and matches the MS Paint type.
Bruh, I said that already.
Oh, right. My favourite part about the VTAN mod, aside from the very well crafted art style, is the perspective changes used in Sneed, No Games, and the song I shall not name. I'm convinced this has and will inspire the use of more unique perspectives in mods created by those talented enough to pull it off. We've already seen first person, so having the potential of seeing many more angles is an exciting thing to delve into for the future of Friday Night Funkin' mods. Cancelod's perspective is really nice, simply because you can still see Boyfriend's stupid little face in the bottom corner of the screen, unless you're a downscroll main like me, in which case it's slightly ruined. My favourite perspective though is Consolzord's. With this perspective, we get to see a large majority of this robot, which would be really inconvenient if the perspective was the regular Friday Night Funkin' default. I'm looking at you, Toadbot. Anyway, the perspective allows for Consolzord to be more detailed, considering there's no camera zipping back and forth between two characters. Kind of allows us to appreciate the art more. I'm also a huge fan of how Consolzord's animation is linked to Boyfriend, with Boyfriend struggling to keep his balance as Consolzord violently shifts around.
I agree.
Art and animation will get a 4.5, because although it's smooth and a good contender to its original source material, the movements maybe could have been a bit more exaggerated and brash, judging on how over the top the original animation was.
When taking a look at the main part of the mod, I seem to notice that it goes in a slight story-like structure, with a beginning, middle and end. Video Games, for example, is a good beginning song, having a slow start and picking itself up into a good rhythm. It even shows the beginning of VTAN's rage, when he slams a little dance pad with the little... It's kinda like when you lose at a game for the first time and you slam your keyboard or controller, but then, with enough confidence, it builds up into...
Sage is VTAN in his prime. He's done warming up and is ready to beat you in a rhythm battle. The more fast-paced and intense instrumental and vocals sets the tone, and I really like the inclusion of VTAN using a very extended section. It's like he's really pissed off and is not ready for his turn to be over, so he keeps on spitting fast vocals at Boyfriend. The video game sound when applied to a faster track makes for a really good listening experience. The chorus of the song sounds very familiar to an old video game song that I should know even though it's probably original. Even with Boyfriend's stupid voice, this song still has its charm and is why I like it so much. But I guess you can't win every battle, and with V-Tan realizing that, we get to
Harmony. It's calm, collected, and simple. Going back to the whole structure metaphor, this is the end part. It's similar to when you'd calm down from gamer rage after losing so many battles, and V-Tan's dance pad even breaks and he moves into singing instead. Kinda like when you break your controller after so much rage and try to take out your old dusty one to put in the last effort, but unfortunately it still goes wrong and you have to take the fall. Speaking of the singing, V-Tan's voice is really fitting to his character. He doesn't sound like a perfect singer at all, giving that snarky sound in his voice, which is especially noticeable at the higher notes, sounding more like a nyar than anything else. It's the last thing he can do to try and beat Boyfriend, but eventually gives in and he has to take the fall. But after that, with V-Tan and BF on some kinda cool terms, B-Board isn't done with them, and with the Lord himself being awoken, we find ourselves with
Infant Nigeria starts with strong sinister vocals from Cancelord and nice booster vocals from Boyfriend. The real deal however starts when Cancelord screams like a banshee on cocaine and the aggressive instrumental kicks in. This instrumental sounds evil, with a rapid drum beat that plays along with the raging guitar. It creates an amazing sounding instrumental that gets even better with the orchestral type chimes that kick in. Cancelord's deep voice sounds really good on hold notes and his scratchy vocals work really well on fast sections. Together with Boyfriend, they create excellent duets that are both catchy and epic sounding. Infant Ninja is a certified banger of a secret song, just like No Games.
Just to start, No Games is my favourite song of this mod, so to say that I have a lot to say for it is an understatement. Anyway, this song slaps. It's fast, powerful, and direct. Console Sort's voice is deep and has that true evil robot voice to show that he doesn't mess around. He wants to fuck Boyfriend up, no doubt about it. The back and forths are almost instant, and with the inclusion of the battle being a middle scroll, it feels like the attacks are coming with no warning. There are two little inclusions about this song that I love as well. First is the countdown that you can hear at points before large vocal parts from Zord, giving the notion that you should get your ass ready because the next part is going to be a step up. The second is the very subtle... It's a reference back to the original video with the song being Liberate Me from Hell, and those little rounds you hear in Sage are actually another reference from that video. Oh, and remember when I said that Harmony was V-Tan's last ditch effort? Yeah, I lied. He's actually controlling Zord to fight Boyfriend. But doesn't he know that consoles don't mix Wait, it's 2021, we have cosplay now. Well, I guess that's why Zord stayed together for the entire song. Meta. Anyway, I guess it's time to head out of 4chan, because we're going to be heading to the outskirts of town to find
a city slicker pulling up in his fancy German car that was actually made in Guatemala. Sneed is a song that is a reference to Sneed's feed and seed from The Simpsons. The song remixes the voice of Homer Simpson and the two Hicks into an amazing meme song. Sneed has no reason to hit as hard as it does, yet here we are. Featuring an amazing chorus, a banjo solo, and some vocals from the other Hick, Sneed is a $100 Amazon mystery box of a song. The instrumental was fun and bouncy, using instruments you would expect to find in a barn, along with some modern additions. It definitely works really well with the jumpy vocals from Homer Simpson and the Hicks, speaking of whom have a wide range of vocals thanks to the incredible use of the original samples, which within themselves had a good vocal range. Slap together some good vocal chops and a barnyard ragtime instrumental with a sprinkle of that Friday Night Funkin' magic and you get Sneed, an amazing meme song.
Well, la-dee-da, Mr. Gucci loafers.
Altogether, music gets a 4.8. The mod's theme seems to be centered around sweaty gamer nerd rage, and 4chan being a massive cesspit of low-tier humans who need a lung full of neurotoxin.
The gimmicks, structure, and execution actually use all that to a good extent. The gamer rage notion of the main three songs, the gimmick notes, middle scroll / first person camera views, and the story as a whole show the likes of 4chan in its nature, even all the way down to the customized option menus which is meant to look like 4chan's home screen. It's all themed around this arsewipe of a website, and it gives it so much strange charm that you just can't help but love it.
Cancelord is an excellent homage to the B-board because he's racist and he screams. The end. In all seriousness, there isn't really much to say about the theme, but for what is there, it's pretty good, so theme gets a 4.4. I'm now gonna go on the B-board and scream racist obscenities. Goodbye. I'm gonna say it. No doubles, but I'll give it some points for including some gimmick arrows. Keeping interest in an easy chart is difficult without some sort of gimmick or doubles, and we have gimmick arrows in Sage and Infina, I can't say that word. Let's imagine for a second I'm not a rhythm game tryhard. The more difficult sections of the charts are well made and make for a fun playing experience. While it may be uncommon, the usage of different gameplay tropes spices up songs like Sage, like the section with mini jacks or the usage of some rolls thrown in here and there. I find it hard to talk about trying when there isn't really much to comment on, which is why trying will get 4. Because it's really good and well made, but not outstanding per se, plus 0.2 points for the gimmicks. Overall, the V-Time mod is without a doubt an excellent and well crafted mod. Quite underrated too. The way it complements the source material and 4chan as a whole is really beautiful to see expressed as a Friday Night Funkin' mod. Looking at everything together, there is barely anything to complain about. The reason sections like music got a 4.8 is only because I'm sure I'll hear and see better as the FNF community progresses. I'm sure in the future we'll be viewing this mod as one of the OGs that stand the test of time.
It's a masterful mod. It sticks to its guns and is unapologetically charming. The Anons who made the mod really knew what they were doing. They didn't take it over the top and kept it how the vibes of the original video were supposed to be. The art is beautiful, the OST is one of my favourites to date, and it's just so fun to play. As Sir Gemini said, it's underrated, and I hope that more people shed light onto it, not something that's just more copy and paste cancer in the FNF community. Anyway, see you people. I'm gonna go shove clay down my sink and turn the water on and see what happens. See ya!
Overall, this mod gets a 4.4, plus 0.1 points because... Quite a long script this one is, huh? There's a decent amount to unpack with this mod, so we did our best to cover as much as possible. Away from Friday Night Funkin' for a moment, we actually got a clip in the Comic-Con music video with our Madness Combat cosplays. What really gets me though is how they listed our cosplay as Friday Night Funkin' when it's, you know, Madness Combat. But whatever, we still made it in. Subscribe, like, share, comment, do it all, or I'll cry. Goodbye.
Subscribe or else.